Hello, just doing a quick video when I'm out and about today. I'm getting ready for a walk at the Arboretum, and as I was getting ready to come, I didn't want to. I wanted to stay warm and cozy in my house, and I thought, oh, it's dry, the sun's out, I'm gonna go. And I thought about doing a video on just preparing for the darker, colder months, as it's already dusk here. It's not even quite 4. So one, I think it's important to honor that sort of natural impulse in the fall and winter to honor that desire to be quiet, still, and inward, and to discern the difference between what is a natural tendency to go inward versus an experience of depression. And that in itself can be an interesting inquiry process. What's the difference for you between a desire to be still and depression? And I know for me, that desire to be still and quiet feels very nourishing, whereas when it's depression, it can feel heavy and lethargic and almost there's a hopelessness to it. Whereas when I'm still and quiet and really enjoying that, it actually feels very nourishing. And there is this cultural push to be productive, to get things done, to keep doing. And that overrides this natural tendency during this season to naturally go inward. So, one, honor that desire to go inward if that's happening to you. 2, discern the difference between stillness, quiet, and depression, if depression is something that you deal with in your life. And then just a few other things that I'm sure a lot of you already know, but happy lights, also really great. So you can put one of those on in the morning. If you meditate, you can just put that on while you're meditating and get in a little extra light. Stick to a discipline. So if you haven't read The Heart of Wellness by my teacher, Dr. Kavitha Chennai, that's a really great resource for aligning with the natural rhythms of your cortisol and melatonin, which can be supportive of depression, seasonal affective disorder, and all sorts of other challenges that we may face. Movement. And so it doesn't have to be big movement. It can just be anything that feels, I like to do movement that feels pleasurable to my body versus what I should be doing. So a walk actually sounded nice today, even though getting out of my house was difficult. But tune into what feels pleasurable to your body. So it might be really slow during the winter months, or it might be really fast and vigorous. And so again, another inquiry process for you of like, what feels good in your body, and how does movement feel good in your body? And even just moving in any way, whether it's gentle and slow or fast and vigorous, can bring that sense of vitality and keep that sense of vitality in the system, even if you are being more quiet and slow and still. Get connection. And so have that time with other folks who you love. Could be just on a phone, could be a text, it could be in person. Sometimes if it's hard to get out, having an accountability buddy to meet you and say, hey, it's like right now it's sunny, it's not raining, let's get outside for a moment. So having those moments with your beloved community that can support when it's difficult to move. And then as Deb Dana talks about, find the glimmers. So when I was driving here from South Seattle, I was noticing just the gorgeous fall colors, the yellows and the reds, and now in the Arboretum, I just passed some larches that haven't fully let go of their needles yet. And so it can be quite easy, and it's sort of the default of the mind to go towards what's wrong. And I did a whole video on the negativity bias, which you can check out. I'll leave a link in the bio or in the description of this video. But to intentionally look for the beauty and the magic in the world. And then finally, allowing yourself to feel your feelings. And so when there's a wonderful book by Sherry Huber called The Depression Book. And it's a really wonderful book. And she talks about having a depression party. And so And this is what my teacher talks about too, of honoring the body, the feelings, whatever is present. How can you let that go through your system without fighting it? And so, yes, we get the help and support we need to live the lives we want. And how can we honor if a feeling of sadness is coming through, a feeling of depression, a feeling of anger, a feeling of rage, a feeling of powerlessness, and not get caught up in the stories of it, but the feeling of it. And so when you are having any feeling, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, how can you give it a little bit of space to just be there? So if you have different things and different ways that you navigate the darker, colder winter months, I'd love to hear it. Post it in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. And the last thing I wanted to mention was I also have a free Moving Through Depression with Yoga Therapy workbook. So I'll put the link for that as well. So that's just a free resource for anybody who wants some extra support during this season and beyond.